Suzanne?
Yeah.
We all read a story to know its ending, but what about all those stories without any endings? What about all those missing people who only hang on posters forgotten by the world while time stops for the people who love them? This is a similar story of a person who was forgotten, but the case later reopened to put this to rest once and for all. Missing Colorado mother Suzanne Morphew's remains were discovered buried in a desert 3 months ago, and forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden says the remains are well preserved enough for identification of her cause of death. Morphew's remains were discovered recently in the Moffat, Colorado area of Saugatche County, some 45 miles south of her home in Maysville, Colorado, where she was reported missing on May 10, 2020.
Flipped completely upside down when Suzanne's remains were accidentally uncovered in a shallow grave while investigators in an unrelated case were searching a remote area of Colorado.
Unless disturbed by animals, Baden believes the scorching desert conditions in which her remains were discovered likely preserved her bones and other potential proof of her death. The 49-year-old mother of two went missing on Mother's Day, May 10, 2020, after going for a bike ride in Maysville, Colorado, where she resided with her husband Barry and their 2 girls. Her bike and helmet were retrieved during searches, but her corpse was never discovered.
And just a confirmation, you left this morning at 5.
She was sound asleep.
Okay. And she told you she was going to go bike riding?
She bikes every day, yeah.
Okay.
She said she's going to bike when she gets up.
So she was asleep in the bed when you left. Did you say bye to her or anything?
No, she's sound asleep.
Okay.
Almost a year after she went missing, her husband was charged with first-degree murder, tampering with physical evidence, and attempting to influence a public officer.
Suzanne Morphew vanished on Mother's Day in 2020. Investigators have long believed her to be dead. They were so confident, in fact, that in 2021 they charged her husband Barry Morphew with murder without ever locating her body. Now, the charges against Barry Morphew were dropped mere weeks before he was set to begin trial, and he's currently suing prosecutors and investigators for $15 million for essentially ruining his life by accusing him of being a killer.
Barry has pleaded not guilty. Barry swore he was innocent, blaming her abduction on a mountain cougar, 85 chipmunks, a bull elk, a horned deer, and even a stray turkey. The case took another unusual turn when, days before his trial on April 28, 2001, the district attorney requested that all charges be dismissed. Then, in May, Barry filed a $15 million lawsuit against prosecutors and local, state, and federal investigators, alleging that his civil rights had been violated. He had been jailed for 5 months before being released on $500,000 bail through malicious prosecution, unlawful detention, evidence fabrication, and conspiracy, among other claims.
Her last known communication was on May 9th, the day before she was reported missing. According to prosecutors, the communication was a message containing a bikini selfie that she sent around 2 p.m. to her lover, Plot Thickens.
Suzanne was last seen on Saturday, May 9, 2020, at 2:03 p.m. when she sent a selfie to her secret boyfriend on LinkedIn. Her best friend, Sheila Oliver, with whom she communicated constantly via text and Snapchat messages, became concerned when she didn't read 3 Snapchat messages in the early evening. Suzanne had been involved in planning Oliver's daughter's wedding, and the friends were looking forward to the ceremony the next day.
So the next day, Mother's Day, the daughters are out on a camping trip. Did that strike people as odd?
Then, on Sunday, May 10th, one of Suzanne's girls, who was on a road trip, got concerned that she had not responded to her Happy Mother's Day message and requested that friends check on her, according to the arrest affidavit. They couldn't find her at the house, so they called Barry to let him know that she was missing.
And then someone contacted a neighbor.
Right. The neighbor had told Barry that her car's here, she was not home.
Barry was the first to suggest that Suzanne, who had taken up mountain biking after surviving her second bout with cancer, go for a trip on Sunday. When the neighbors informed him that she was not at home, he urged them to search for her bicycle and contact 911 if they couldn't find her. He said he was driving home and didn't have mobile service, despite the fact that, according to authorities, security cameras revealed he was in a hotel with cell service.
Where was that bike?
It's right over here, Peter. The bike was found at the bottom of this ravine right here. The initial thought is kidnapping.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, We'll do whatever it takes to bring you back.
Investigators discovered Suzanne's undamaged bike in a nearby gully shortly after 7:30 p.m., and a police officer's body cam captured Barry coming in his vehicle at approximately 8:45 p.m. Her mobile hasn't been located, and the first thing anyone suspected of was kidnapping. The probable cause affidavit outlines Barry's accounts of his movements on Sunday, including leaving early for a landscaping job near Denver and checking in at a Holiday Inn Express. He then drove to Broomfield, where he expected another contractor to arrive later that evening. Barry accounted for his movements by saying he was watching turkeys and searching for a turkey that his daughter had shot with a bow, but they hadn't found. An FBI agent testified at the preliminary hearing that cell phone data indicated when Barry came home at around 2:44 p.m. On Saturday, he began moving in a pattern around the outside of the house. He allegedly shot 85 chipmunks because they got into his furnace and cost him a bunch of money. At 2:47 p.m., his phone entered airplane mode, where it would stay until 10:17 p.m.
Makes a lot of sense for law enforcement to continue with their narrative that there was an encounter on this day, that he was moving around the house as reflected in the triangulation, and that could have been an angry conversation, a polite conversation, or it could have been her chasing her around with a gun.
Barry's phone registered approximately 210 locations near the house that night, compared to 0 to 2 locations the previous 8 nights. Investigators noted 80 telematic events involving its truck, including opening and closing the doors and backing it up the driveway. Barry claimed that his alarm woke him up at 4:30 a.m. Sunday to leave for the landscaping job, but authorities said there was no record of that on his phone. Barry's phone actively showed him driving by both locations that Sunday morning, but his cell phone and GPS activity showed him driving by both spots. He returned to the hotel at 11:23 a.m., carrying trash bags and other items, and then driving out of the hotel parking lot in his truck.
A mysterious tranquilizer dart cap was found in the laundry. Barry was seen dumping trash bags all over Broomfield. And Suzanne's affair with an old friend was revealed.
Investigators searched the Morphew's house on May 11th and discovered signs that led them to believe that Suzanne faced trouble. They found an unspent bullet and a rifle storage case underneath the bed, as well as sheets in the dryer and a tranquilizer dart cap, which authorities suggested Barry might have used to subdue Suzanne before killing her. The door frame in the couple's bedroom was damaged, and Barry explained the presence of the dart cap by saying he used them to tranquilize deer bucks to cut off their horns.
And one of the initial reports that came out was that there was some level of body disbursement, that they found certain items that were dispersed from that central point where the remains may have been deposited originally. So yeah, it's the scientists that are at work here, Brian, and I'm sure that what they're looking at right now are probably skeletal remains.
The boyfriend was eventually identified as Jeff Libler, a high school friend Suzanne had reconnected with in April of 2018. In the spring of 2020, the Morphews began talking about divorce. On May 6th, Suzanne told her husband, "I'm done. I could care less what you've been up to and have been for years. We just need to figure this out civilly." There were bumps in their marriage, and Suzanne accused her husband of infidelity while she was having an affair for years. Will Barry be prosecuted again for his dead wife's murder? Or is there more to this story than we know? Was Suzanne caught up in something worse? Will we ever know?
I know this is a weird question, but do Barry and Suzanne get along pretty well?
You can answer honestly. You know, I think they've had some problems.
Okay.
Yeah, in the past.
Like just
normal husband and wife type deal.
Oh, they like talk about separating or anything
they
like
have,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
I would, yeah.
And you know this through
Macy. Yeah, I'm very close with her.
Yeah, it's important that you
I know.
anything that you know.
Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comments section below.